Uncommon Women Podcast, a dope podcast to bring light to reality from real life people sharing real life stories with a host of women having real life talk, the good and the bad, with no judgment. Uncommon Women's Loyalty is here to support those that need a safe space to speak their truth and rawness to the world. Tune in, relax, take notes, and let's vibe. Here are your hosts, Uncommon Women.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to Uncommon Women. I am your favorite host, Shanira, and today I'm super excited. We have a powerful couple that's coming on to share, their testimony, their insights, and, to give us some gems in regards to relationships. We have the wonderful Candace Tuck, who is a certified spiritual life and relationship counselor, author, trainer. She's holding, many hats in regards to helping and empowering people. Her purpose in life is to help others heal in order to unleash their greatness. And then we have her wonderful husband joining us today, Remon, sorry. Will be speaking and giving us some insight on marriage. They are amazing people. They have couples lounge, marriage ministry. So I'm super excited to hear about their journey and be able to dive into everyone that's listening and tuning in to teach about relationships, teach about marriage. They've been married for over 20 years. I'm not going to tell a little bit too much about their story because they're going to get into that in just a moment. But before we get into the good stuff, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, sir, since I didn't get your credentials and what you do and what you like doing and enjoying and things like that?
Yes, I am a educator of, how long I've been teaching? About 17 years now. I'm transitioning to the administration role in education. I'm working on my principal certification now. So that's on deck. Member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Want to make sure I throw that out there. What's up? But a father, podcaster with my wife, an author, average sports fan, and just around the way cool dude.
Wow. So you are a powerful Black love dynamite couple, empowering and uplifting and educating the community.
Yes.
I love to hear that you said you've been teaching for over 17 years.
Yes, I have.
Is there a specific age range that you teach?
Yes, I teach middle school babies history, Texas history and U.S. history.
Okay. So you sponging them kids in with the knowledge of real history, huh?
There you go. What's not in the textbook, Mr. Tuck, make sure.
Yes. I love it. So before we get into, the relationship questions, I do want to ask you guys, and you guys can take your turns in regards to answering this question. But, how was life growing up for you both individually?
I will say life for me was good. I had a good childhood, a lot of family functions. Family was really big. I was in my home, I was the only girl to three brothers. And I do have three other siblings outside of my parents. So we are really a blended. I come from a blended family. So it has those dynamics. I would say as me being the only girl. I didn't have anybody else to bounce things off of to grow from that was in the house with me. So that brought about a journey in itself. And then grew up very in church a lot. Back in the day, like we was at church for all the things. And I'm saying that now because I feel like it'll be a part of this conversation. It'll kind of unfold as a part of the conversation. So that's just a little bit, and wherever you decide to take us and go, I have no issue with saying how my childhood impacted my life because I know that is real big, and definitely when you get married, what you experience in childhood, it comes out in adulthood. So
okay, so with you being the only female, did you consider yourself like a tomboy growing up?
I did. Mm-hmm.
I know
I
you
still to this day like LL Cool J describes a roundaway girl. That's what I feel.
yes.
I'm able to vibe in a lot of different situations.
Okay, okay. I love that. I love that. And we'll get a little bit more into your personality and stuff as we go into the relationship questions. My fellow gentlemen, how about you? How was your life growing up?
Amazing. Two-parent household. Blessed. My mother and father still here, still kicking it, still in love to this day. The only boy out of three.
Oh,
Yes. I grew up in an very affectionate household. My mother and father was huggers and kissers, but strong disciplinarians at the same time.
mm.
Um, I grew up with a father that hugged him and kissed him and told him he loved you, but yet at the same time was old school with his discipline. So um, we grew up in church, usher board, deacon board. I mean, young deacon in the choir, Bible school. I grew up in the church as well
Church as
in
well.
East Texas. So I'm a country boy that linked up with a city girl.
I love that. I love that. And I love how both of your stories, you were the only female and then he was the only male. So I love how God was able to, get you guys together and have insights in regards to, I don't want to say gender roles, but, making things work for both of you.
Yeah.
That's really dope, really dope. So being as though you both were in the church, did you meet at church or how did you guys connect?
We met at college, our freshman year at Jarvis Christian University in East Texas. We actually linked up our freshman year in '95. So officially, 28 years? Yeah, officially, we've been together 28 years. So we literally grew up together from college freshmen till now.
And we met like literally like when freshmen come back in August. That's
Mm-hmm.
when or not come back, but when we come
When they start,
before
right.
everybody else come back, and that's when we met.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so who made the first move? Who was like, oh, he looking cute, or she Candace. How did that
I tell you, you gotta be special because that show was not.
Your shot, huh?
Yes, that was not Candace, but yeah, it was kind of the whole story how it unfolded. I did not have a good experience with him when he took me and my friends to Walmart. He was one of the few freshmen that had a car, so we was like, bet to go to Walmart. So we had this trip to Walmart where I was able to see this side of him that it was rarely. It was a good side because he took us to his house. We met his mama.
What? All from a Wally World trip.
Huh?
All from a Walmart trip.
Yeah. But then on the other side, he showed another crazy side of him. And I don't know. I might be on to liking crazy because after that, it was like I started flirting with him. So.
Okay. So Remon, is she different from the women that you dated in the past? Like, what intrigued you to Candace? You say city girl, but
Yeah, she was completely different. I liked at the time all light skin. If you wasn't light skinned back what we called them in East Texas yellow hammers. If you wasn't a yellow hammer, I didn't want you at all. And honestly, she's the only girlfriend I've ever had. I never had a girlfriend. I didn't want a girlfriend. And let me make sure I make this very clear. That was my choice. That it was like I couldn't get nobody. I just chose to be single because I thought, having a girlfriend was kind of square. You gonna tie me down, and I can't get all the rest. And then I got seen the chocolate, and that was just God. She said I was special. She was special because I ain't want no parts of any dark skinned girl, and end up falling in love with one my freshman year.
Wow, you had a sweet tooth. Okay.
Hey.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So Can you provide some tips, being as though you guys been married, well, together for 28 years? Congratulations, first and foremost, in that. Can you provide some tips on how to be a good wife or husband for those that is tuning in that is single? That's been working for you too?
Can you repeat it, because you went out for just a little
Oh.
bit?
No, you're fine. I said for those that are single or that's watching that wants to be married, can you provide some tips in regards to how to be a good wife or a good husband that worked for you too? Because y'all been married and together for 28 years. And, you know, the life that we live in, everybody is so quick to just give up.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's a good question. I would say, knowing what I know now, and I want to let everybody know this is growth talking. This is healing talking.
Okay.
This is a new relationship with God talking. So I would say now, if you are going into or desire marriage, like I was saying earlier, first of all, you got to understand that once you on that altar, is something that's happening more than just a wedding. You're making a commitment and a vow to God. And so because of that, you got to understand that it's going to be some changes that's going to be had internally. So just be prepared. Y'all make a commitment to be a team on your journey, that whenever I get triggered or whenever we go through these moments, it's growth happening. It's healing happening. I read something that said whenever you have a series of challenges or events in your relationship, intimate relationships, it's because of the soul is ready, as a wound in the soul is ready to be healed or released.
Yeah, that's deep.
And it's understanding that, so it's not a whole bunch of blaming. And I would say, as a, just that was kind of like overall, but as a wife, you have to understand the power of your mouth and its impact on your husband, and get a true definition and understanding what submissiveness is. And what I've learned now as to what it is it's trusting my husband and being willing to follow his directions. And even if I don't trust him, I got to be willing to trust God.
Okay.
And it's not a lot of times we've known submission to mean like a dictator type ship. You do what I say do. You ain't got nothing to say. No.
Right.
God gives us to them as wisdom. He didn't give them to us. He gave us to them. So it's you provide a wisdom. And so if your husband is in alignment, you trust he heard your wisdom with his understanding of things. And then if it's any confusion, he gonna take it to God. And even if I don't agree with it, I trust him and that he's doing what's in the best interest of our family. So that's what I would say from a.
Now you brought up a great point. How does the conversations go when you don't agree with them? Because it's easier said than done. Like trust my husband, trust the Lord. But you know, sometimes as women, we got that little intuition when we like, I don't know about this one. It's a little questionable, or you may feel as though you have a better outcome in the situation. How could you really like lay it out and just trust him or God?
It is, woo. I have been it is early on, it used to be a convincing that was there, like what we doing, like, no, it's going back and forth, but I'm all about peace, like, in my life now. And so what where I'm at now is, I'm gonna tell you my opinion. I might say it twice, but after that, I'm not going back and forth. Definitely, if it's feel like it's gonna turn into an argument, I'm just not. I'm gonna say whatever it is, and then leave it to him. And even if is really truly preventing myself from going into a human perspective,
right,
and keeping it in a godly mindset. Like, if I feel like, okay, he's maybe not making this decision from a heart place, but it is more he in his mind, or if I feel like he's just not going with me because of whatever, it's like, okay, God, I just got to trust you that all things going to work together for the good. And then I ain't even got to throw it back up in his face if it does come out the way that I suggested it. But it is bringing it, I might say it in a loving way, like, babe, that's why I was saying but saying it in a way that don't make him feel like he's a failure.
I love that. I love that. So can you give us some tools and tips in regards to how to be a good husband? Because we was talking a little bit earlier about, happy wife, happy life. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I would say being able to self-reflect. That's have a kind, humble, loving spirit, and being able to self-reflect. And I say that because you're not always right. As a husband, just as a person, you're going to make mistakes, but be able to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself. Did I handle this right? Did I say this right? Could I handle that differently? Could I say that a little different? Was I a little harsh right there? Is she tripping or am I tripping? Being able to do that, knowing that you're not always right, um, and realize he gave your wife for a reason. Use her in a good way. If you're only going off of your wisdom and your knowledge and not taking your wife advice and putting that into equation before you make the decision, you're making a fatal mistake. So that would be my biggest advice, being able to show up with a loving, kind, humble spirit, but also being able to self-reflect and analyze the situation, conversation, and realize where you went wrong, if you went wrong, and how to correct it.
Wow, that's very mature of you. Go ahead, Candace. I see you about to say something.
I was just going to say to all the single people, understand you are not going to be able to do marriage without God. Because it takes a relationship with God, period. Because so many times you want to be in your flesh, and your flesh is, like I said, you're gonna trigger each other. You bringing two different worlds and meshing it together to make one world. And so it is patterns that's gonna have to drop off, stuff that you used to do that no longer serve you, but it's a power in it. But you gotta have God, and in the having God, I ain't just like, we grew up in church. It's a difference in believing in God and knowing God. Them are two different things. And so you gotta be willing to know God and know what God has called for the husband to do and what God has called for the wife to do, because it's very specific. The more that we say, all right, he said, it's better to live on the edge of a roof than to be in the house with a quarrelsome wife. So me arguing and fighting and using my mouth, I got to start correcting that. If God is saying, husbands, I called you to love her so that she don't feel like she got a stain or a wrinkle. That's a different type of love that you got to offer your wife. Yep, she got flaws, but she should not feel like she got flaws when it comes to how her husband talked to her. Wow, so I'm going to say, you can't do it without God.
That's real deep. That's real deep. I love the growth, because I could tell it's definitely been growth. I know y'all been through some things. I love the growth. So let's take it back before marriage for one of the questions that I see a lot that's trending on social media. And I'm gonna ask the fella this question. How do you feel about, as a man, paying the woman's bills while dating, paying all the bills, and then we can get into, what's your input on this 50-50 role when it comes to marriage?
I think that's foolish. Ain't no way in hell I'm paying all your bills if we're just dating. Are you kidding me? That is a wifely privilege. And if you're not a wife, I'm not giving you that privilege of getting all of my income or receiving all the blessing that comes with my income. Okay. That would be something I would tell my son. That is something I would tell my daughter. Do not expect this man to pay all your bills when you're his girlfriend. Are you kidding me? Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't do anything. Having a woman is a financial responsibility.
Cha-ching, that's right.
I mean, any female is a financial. Lord knows my daughter. Oh my God, this heifer thinks I'm rich for some reason. But having a woman is a financial responsibility. And I don't believe in 50-50 in a marriage. That, to me, that's ludicrous. It's not, it makes zero sense. And here's why I say that. There will be times where I show up 40%, 20%. I had a bad day. I'm having a bad moment. You need your spouse to carry you that other 40, that other 50. Wherever you're lacking that day, you need your spouse to carry you in those moments. Every day in your marriage, you're not going to show up 100% the best you can be at all times. It sounds great. It sounds wonderful. You're going to be the best wife, the best husband, loving, caring, 100% of the time. That's a lie, and ain't no truth in it. Let me tell you. We all have our moments. But when you're having your moment, do your spouse love you enough to carry you when you're in that valley, when you're low, when you're going through whatever? It could be health, it could be finances, it could be spiritually, emotionally. Can you help carry that extra 30%, 50%, hell, 80% if needed? So I don't believe in 50-50. It sounds good, but anybody that's been married for an extended period of time knows every day you're not going to show up at your best.
I love that. That's good. That's good. So, Candace, I have a question, a piggyback question off of that. He said that, he ain't paying nobody's bills while dating. Women should be taking care of those. Those are husband duties or husband privileges. How do you feel about, as a woman, cooking and nurturing and doing all that stuff while dating? Do you believe that that's what women should do while they married, or is that something that can come before marriage?
Now, I wouldn't see nothing wrong with, we having a date night or he come over, yeah, I'm cooking, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I would also say this, that I'm not for sure if it will be necessarily a necessity or I gotta do this for you. It will be more in that phase. I'm doing it just because I want to. You know what I'm saying? I just want to. When you come over here, I'm gonna cook for you. Or if I come to your house, I cook. But you like, oh, you ain't cooked today? Wait a minute now. I'm not your wife, but so, and that's just me speaking now based on how I feel like I would be if this was me in this situation. Like, I'm doing it because I desire to do it, and that's how. And and going back off what he said, I agree with him. But then you'll have women out there saying, oh, well, you can't do that, and I'm sleeping with you. But that's a choice. You choosing to sleep with him.
There we go.
And so just because you choosing to do that don't mean he got to start doing husband duties because you doing wifely duties and you ain't married. So you can't put that on him. You're making a choice. So I know how I would be if this didn't work. Yeah, I ain't asking you no kind of husband duties because if I ain't trying to do no wifely duties.
I love that. I love that. So let's take it a little bit further and go into, your marriage and how you made it work for so long. Can you talk about what keeps the chemistry flowing in your marriage? Because 28 years is a long time to be with one person. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of emotions and things that you guys been through during this time. So how do you keep the chemistry flowing? When you mad, does he go sleep on the couch, or whatever the case may be? How do you guys keep it flowing to have a successful, healthy relationship?
You got to have a forgiving spirit first and foremost. Again, you got to be able to self-reflect. There's going to be times where I know I'm wrong. I might not have realized it at the moment. Also, you have to still date and court each other. The truth be told, the sex life will go up and down. It
Okay.
comes in phases. Some phases you can't keep your hands off each other. Then some days you like, dang, we ain't did nothing. And damn, hell, I don't even want to do nothing. What the hell going on? It goes ups and down. So the key is to keep dating. Keep dating. Also, again, a humble, forgiving spirit. And I keep saying self-reflection, but man, that is huge. If you can't self-reflect and analyze when you have made a mistake, and it's always your spouse's fault, that is going to be a problem. It's going to bring resentment, and it's going to bring a whole lot of other issues in your marriage. So those would be the key things I would say: being able to self-respect, be forgiving spirit, and continue to date each other. Spice it up. There have been times where I've come home and, hey, I'm gonna go to the store. You got about 30 minutes, an hour. I got us a room. I'm like, what? I got a room downtown.
Yes.
I'm changing the scenario. I'm changing the scenery. You know, and you have to do that, because if you're not careful, you'll get caught up in the same routine. Wait till the kids go to bed. Okay, then you come into bed with the same ugly do-rag on your head, and then you come in with your like, God, dog, spice it up, switch it up, because, and I think men forget this. Women can get tired of us doing the same damn thing too. We've been doing the same move for the last 20 years. Like, my brother, switch it up. You know, sometimes they want us to look sexy. Put on some nice, some sexy silk boxers. You know, I ain't with the breeze, but throw on some sexy silk boxers. Ladies, worse.
I still ain't got my dance yet. So.
Oh, okay. Listen.
No, he did. I want a bet. I want a bet, and that was a bet. So he did do that for me.
Yes, in the lingerie. Here's my thing, and I'm gonna shut up after this. Ladies, if the lingerie you wear or whatever you put on for your man and he takes it off immediately or shortly after, it did his job. Shut up! Wait, ain't gonna be able to keep it on long. You ain't supposed to. If it's looking that damn good, come here, god dang it, that's enough. I ain't gotta see no more. Or if the kids ain't there, how about this? She's done this. I ain't seen this in about 50 years. I will come home. She'll be cooking in the kitchen, cooking. I got it now. We got the baby. We got a son. And some heels and some lingerie.
Oh my God. We're about to be empty nesters. It'll come
that's just let me throw that out there, ladies. Let him come home, see you cooking in your heels and all up. But, my goodness.
Another way that you can keep chemistry as well is, I would say, like, we've done this off and on, is having what I call power hour, where some people call it patio time. When I had a couple on our show call it patio time, and it's just setting aside a hour or 30 minutes, whatever y'all choose, and y'all just be together. You ain't got to be necessarily doing nothing, but it's a time where you can just talk about what the week was like, something that's on your mind, or we talking about the kids, but it's a time for intimacy. So when you think about chemistry for women, definitely intimacy matters. And so those times where you ain't just trying, you don't just want, every time you want some connection with me, it's through sex, but you don't talk to me all week, or you ain't talk to me all day. And so for some women, it's like, you gotta switch that. But if you can just find that time, just one day a week that y'all sit. I've heard an older guy, I was watching something, he's like every single day, but him and his wife are like it was some on Netflix, but they take a walk every single day. When he get home, they just take a walk together. And those are the things that you gotta do to stay connected, because you're still changing. Like, we've been together 28 years, but he's changing when I don't know he's changing. And then it appear, and then I'm like, well, where did that come from? Like, it's something that's really happening, like with his clothes right now. And he'll be like, I like that. I was like, you like that? Like you would wear that. So that's the thing, that we are constantly changing. And so any and everything that keeps you just connected, be willing to do it and hear each other as to, hey, let's go here, or let's try this, and be willing to get out your comfort zone. When y'all can learn and do something fun and new together that neither one of y'all know how to do, it brings about some laughter.
Hold on. And know your spouse. And
Okay, there we go.
This new stuff is fine, well and good. But if you know your man don't like or wouldn't like the ballet, don't bring him to no damn ballet.
But you never know.
I don't want to hear that.
No, you never
I'm
know.
We
disagree right here.
Yeah, I don't.
We disagree. If I'm not asking you to do nothing morally, I don't care. Like he smokes cigars. Like for him to be like, babe, come on, hit this cigar with me. That's damaging my internal. That's not something that I feel like you should ask to do. But getting out of your comfort zone just one time. Maybe not, you don't keep doing it, but one time is okay.
Okay, ladies, listen to me talking. If you know your man is not going to like it, don't make him go. Don't bring that up. It sounds good. That is something women would do. We can bring y'all the stuff that you've never done. Like, I ain't done this. Oh, okay. You do that to a guy. He's what? While we're here, he's going to ruin the whole mood, the whole situation more times than not. If you know your man, there are certain things you don't even introduce it. Take it as you will.
Now, even if she wanted to try something new, you said try things new, like come both out of your element.
Baby, wait, you don't know what she's saying.
No, that's what I was saying. Like, what if she wants to try something new and wants to try something new with you, her spouse?
I don't care. It depends on what it is. God. No, listen to me. It depends on what it is. Some things are fine, cool. I ain't never done that. I ain't went bungee jumping and rock climbing. Okay, cool. He's an athletic, outgoing guy. He might enjoy that. But certain things, he probably gonna don't bring me to yoga. Certain guys, you take him to hot, steaming, hot yoga. What are we doing?
So, yeah. Let me tell you something. To the couple. That's his perspective. Like I said, I don't.
I think nice.
What you say, see, Coco?
I said I think yoga's really good for both partners to try it and meditate in peace, and
right. And I say this: you gotta be willing to expose each other, because let me flip it on this side. If you had, I think this is more of a language he might can understand, where you want to introduce new things in the bedroom. Baby, let's try this. Or babe, won't you go do this just to make my experience in the bedroom? Oh, don't come to me with no different stuff. We straight missionary up in here. I ain't doing no other stuff. But you ain't even tried nothing.
Right.
You haven't even tried whether it's something outside, or I want you to get this skimpy outfit. Yeah, it don't say it's not the same, because it is. Because you're asking me to do something that's out of my comfort zone, something I may not think I like. Definitely when it's something sexual in nature, I don't know, and I'm coming from this religious Christian background, I might be telling myself, oh, this is that and the other. So this is what I would say. If it doesn't go against your morals and your values, be willing to, and even for the men that are in the box, or women that are in the box, and you don't want to try new things for as date night type stuff, be willing to try it one time with each other. That's how you expand. You expand your thinking process. You don't know what can come out of doing a thing together. So that's one of those things where we disagree, and I will
disagree. Okay, so Candace, I do have a question to piggyback off of what he said. Spicing it up and things like that. Do you feel as women, especially when we're married, that we supposed to upkeep ourselves? Some men don't like the bonnets and all that 24/7 when, you may want to get intimate. Do you feel as though as a woman, we have to take care of ourselves and always be sexy and, approved so that his eyes won't linger? How do you feel about that?
I won't say always, because that's the absolute, and I don't want to set nobody up for no failure. But I do think we should keep definitely our body, because they are visual.
Visual.
So keeping your body in a good appearance, I would say that, far as your body, and even with your attire. Now, I'm gonna be on point from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. I don't roll like that, because I'm gonna be comfortable at times, and he might be like, girl, what you got on? Like, I might go on a moo something, and I have for myself been like, now, girl, the moo is like
The long grandma
dress. It's a bit that mama wear. What your mama wear?
Oh,
Those
okay,
are
okay.
moo-moos.
Oh, okay.
But I would say like a sundress that I wear around the house. So I think we do have to be mindful of it. And definitely, if our husband is saying like, babe, you just don't care about your appearance at all, instead of, oh, you supposed to love me regardless. Yeah, but you got to hear what he is saying and what he's not saying. So basically, he is saying like, okay, I might need to come out of this bonnet when I go to bed, or how I wear my hair when I go to bed, like, or we're about to be intimate. I know this, and I'm just being transparent right here. Like, when I go to bed, sometimes I pull my hair up into a ponytail, but I call it a little tutu. It'll look like a little tutu at the top. And I was like, what? I was like, that. Let me take this hair down and pick this hair out. He don't want to be looking at the look. He probably don't care, but for me, it was like, the little tutu can't be there right now. So I think you have to be mindful of your dress and attire, and it's not saying necessarily just if you don't have a lot of money, because some people don't have the money to necessarily change up their attire to what they desire at this point, but just being willing to look nice for him. Like, and I've heard some women, like, my husband ain't never seen me without makeup. Check what? Like, you wait till he go to bed to take your makeup out? Absolutely no, ma'am. No. Or, I do a lot of things in front of my husband, because this is my best friend. So it's some strange thing. People be like, you do that in front of your husband? Mm-hmm, sure do. But so, yeah, to answer your question, I think it is important. The visual aspect is definitely important. I feel like if we get into a point where we feel like if we are aware we are out of shape, then you got to know he's aware of it, and it's probably impacted.
I love that. I love that. Let's take it a little bit deeper. Can you explain to our people that's listening what lack of intimacy does in the relationship? Have y'all ever been through a period where y'all been, lacking intimacy? Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because y'all
Let
got cooking
me ask you
stuff.
something. When you say intimacy, are you talking about intimacy, or are you talking about sex, or are you talking about both?
Both, rather as holding hands or hugging each other or kissing him when he gets home, you know, that lacking, depending on your love language. We ain't even going to get into that, but can you explain how the lack of the intimacy in a relationship can affect your marriage?
So I heard the intimacy you were referring to. So I think both will affect. I look, as you was just sitting there talking about it, what came to my mind is intimacy is what keeps the water, keeps the yard green, keeps the weeds from growing, keeps the things from coming in between you all, keeping the devil from coming, or evilness, or other, however he chooses to use other people. And so the lack of intimacy has the potential to kill your relationship. We don't never hug. We don't kiss. I won't say never, but that's uncommon for us to kiss, or we in this space where we're not holding hands, or we're not taking time to just be, not no doing, but being together, sitting and having conversations. If you don't have intimacy in your marriage or relationship, I'm almost to say you literally just have a friend or a roommate. That's what a lack of intimacy Y'all just roommates. Y'all ain't got no type of connection. Intimacy is connection, whether you're talking about sex or whether you're talking about non-sexual intimacy. It is connection. And if you don't have that in your relationship, the relationship is dying.
Do you want to piggyback off of what she's speaking about with intimacy from a
Yeah,
man's perspective?
I will agree. And know your partner, their definition of intimacy. That's extremely key. He or she may feel that they're giving it when in reality they're not. They're not giving it in a way that you can receive it. You may think you're giving it, but according to him or to her, no, you're not. Know your partner. You really have to know your spouse. Um, for some people, intimacy could be sex,
Mm-hmm.
and for another partner, it may not be. It could be the thing that leads up to it or can keep the sex going. So again, all of what she said, but I will add know your partner. Truly know your partner and their definition of the word intimacy.
Yeah, that made me, when he said that, like the definition, I'm like, intimacy is so I definitely agree
Perspective,
with that,
right?
because that perspective, because there is a definition for it, and I think it's, when you are struggling in this area, is what is the definition of intimacy, and then each party saying what it looks like for them. This is the definition, but this is how it looks to me, and you have to be willing to adjust to that.
Mm. Speaking on adjustments, 28 years. Have you, and either party can answer this, and this is a transparent moment. I don't know if you guys discussed this or not. But was there ever a certain time or period in the marriage where you felt like you love him, of course, or you love her, of course, but you felt like you fell out of love and the wooing was no longer there, or you just, didn't want to try, or something was missing in the relationship?
Yeah, no question. Like I said, we've been together 28 years. Year 10, we almost got a divorce. Both of us thought it. I never said it. I never verbalized it. She never verbalized it to me. And I'm thinking, man, the hell with this. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have to go in this. Um, and my wife basically suggested counseling, and my mind said, "Well, okay, if it ends, let's go down swinging by getting the help that all the help we can get before we end it." So without question, I felt that way, and she did too.
Mm.
Because we got married at 25, I believe, 24, 25 years old. We
Wow.
got married young. Um, and by 34, 35, it, and my old man said this to me though, before we got married, he said, son, it's gonna come a point where you fall out of love with your wife and your wife falls out of love with you. He said, well, to be helpful and prayerful that it's not at the same time and you're willing to work through it. I said, what? Man, shut up. You know what the hell you talking about.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, did it hit me in the face. So if you find yourself in that moment, really talk to God, really talk to your spouse and have a heart to heart. Is this something that we want to continue? Do we want to continue with this marriage? And if it is, what changes do you need to see from me? And I will tell you the changes I need to see from you. Is this something you can do? Is this something I can do? And have a have a grown up conversation
Mm.
about what you want, what you desire, and what you no longer desire. And work on it if you can.
Yeah, you can.
Mm. Go ahead, Candace. Do you want to speak on, because now he's saying that you both felt that. How or what emotions were you going through when you felt like this ain't it?
It was a range of emotions. It kind of starts out as heartbreaking, then it goes to anger, then it goes back to confusion, Because it's like, I love him, but do I want to put up with this? Do I want to go through this? Do I want to? And I'm here with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's going through all these different ranges of emotions. And so and I was gonna bring up that saying that his daddy said too, and I think it is spot on until you get to a place where you don't get to that point where you necessarily fall out of love into this valley moment. Because I want to give some hope here in that. And you don't have to wait till you 20. Well, we've been together 22. You don't have to wait this long in the game. If you can get the concepts of marriage, if you can bring God into the equation and get those understandings, you can be a team early on. You can be loving with each other early on. And the sooner that you can grasp that this is a healing journey. God is using both of us to purify us so that I can move in my calling like he desires me to move. And so collectively, we can move in the calling that God has. And also that people are watching us as married people. And so that purification of, and when I'll say something for me, I know that I had to go through was not using my voice or dimming my own light, or I want peace externally, so I ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm toe up on the inside and I don't have peace because I can't stop thinking about the thing. And if I didn't get that healed in me, then I'm an entrepreneur, so I gotta have conversations, but I'm carrying all this heaviness, I ain't got no peace internally, and that's gonna affect how I move in life. And so it's those moments that you can absolutely get through it, and we have been through it. And I think still, it's our friendship that has held us for so long when we get in those moments. Because while we was at Georgia's, like, this was my dog. Like, we didn't have no issue. Well, I won't say that. After he played, he got a little crazy. But we really
That
didn't
city
have.
girl came out.
What you say?
I said the city girl came out.
Of him. So but we was just like, we didn't really have no whole bunch of arguments. So we really had a foundation of friendship. And so let me speak for Candace. I tend to hold on to that like my friend, and I love him even in those moments where I didn't feel like I was in love with him. And so be willing to, my thing is, get through it as quick as you can. You don't want to sit in those spaces for long, because the longer you sit in it, you're pulling yourself away. If the intimacy is leaving, the date nights will leave, all the things. As long as you're not talking to each other, you're going through the silent treatment. Get through those phases as quick as you can. Be willing. We got to go to counseling. We got to sit down and start talking. You got to be willing to do what it takes to bring y'all back together. Praying together every day. I don't even like you right now, but look, we know God is real, so let's start praying together.
You brought up a good point about the counseling. So for anybody that may be married and they're feeling this way, how can they approach their partner without offending them or making them feel like they're less than or not worthy of being in that marriage if they didn't feel the same?
About if they're wanting to go to counseling?
Not willing to go to counseling, but like falling out of love. How do you approach your partner when you're experiencing that? Because you both was experiencing it, but how does someone approach it if it's just one partner?
But the thing about it is, we was experiencing it at different times too.
Okay.
Let me talk about being on the other side of this thing.
Okay. Yes.
On the other side of it, I think how you approach it is, first of all, you set an intention. What is your intention as you are getting ready? And that intention, you setting it with yourself. What is my intention on having this conversation? Is it to tell him that I'm falling out of love and I'm feeling this certain? What is get clear on why you're about to have the conversation. You gotta pray. before you go into it, because it's a possibility it could go sideways. And then you come from a place of your heart and not your head. And what I mean by that is sometimes when we come in from our head, it's coming with heat behind it. But if I'm talking to you from my heart, I really desire for you to hear what I'm saying. And so I'm not throwing sarcasms or sarcastic words at you, or I don't have to belittle you in this moment. Don't even make it about them. I'm coming to you because I am clear on what is happening within me. And so the blame ain't on you. This is what's happening in me. And I'm here to tell you. And they may be, well, that's on you. And that, okay. Well, I'm telling you because you are a part of this marriage. But I'm here to tell you this. And once you have your intention, this has worked. I've used it. How do you want to feel when you get ready to leave out of that conversation? And for me, it's always peace. And so if I feel like the conversation is wavering and it's about to go where peace ain't, I take a breath. I choose not to go there. So I get quiet. I know what my intentions was in having the conversation. So that's what I would offer.
I love that. That's dope. That's dope. So let's talk about some impactful things between you two, and both of you can share if you would like, but what is something that you love most about your partner?
I'm gonna let him go first.
Okay.
Something that I love the most. The most? Okay, I know something that I love the most. She's always trying to get me to better myself. She never let me get complacent, if you will, in any aspect of life, actually. And at times I may not want to hear it or deal with it. And at times it's exactly what I needed. But the fact that she doesn't let me get complacent, she's always pushing me to go further, to do more, to be better, is something that I absolutely love about my wife.
That's so genuine. I love that. You gonna make me cry. I ain't trying to cry today.
I'll say what I love the most, and I would say this is the thing that I believe that caused me to fall in love with him, and that's his loving side of himself. I know that was something that I needed when I met him. Not just saying I love you, or not just I know they love me. Like he showed me he loved me. And that is what I love most about him, is his loving side of himself. And with that, I'm gonna add another one. I love to see my husband laugh. And I don't know if it's because it's not as often, but when he laughs, it ain't even gotta be with me. I can hear him on the phone. If he is laughing, it just brings so much joy to me. And I get tickled by him being tickled at whatever he laughing at. And so those are I would say I love the most.
That's deep. That's deep. I love how you can tell you guys are best friends when it comes to things. You may bicker, that comes with everything, but in the end, I can see the glow and the healthiness within the relationship. You had said earlier that, how many children do you have, first and foremost?
3.
3. Okay. And you said the last one is about to leave the nest. Is that correct?
Yeah, she graduates next school year. She'll be a senior.
Oh, you hype. Okay. So was there ever a point or period in either of your lives, because you guys do a lot, where you had to sacrifice your family versus your career?
No.
Okay. I would say I feel like I do sometimes.
Okay.
Whereas with my time, because when you're building a brand, then you it time you're sacrificing time. Um, so I would say that, but it's getting to a place where, and I would say it. Well, this is just me speaking. I don't know what my kids would say, but I try to make a point. I make a point that I keep that intimacy with them, where we had a conversation, or, oh, Candace, you've been in this office a little bit too long. I'm out, I'm up, I'm in a rooms, I'm sitting on the floor. What's up? So I would say there has been times where we might have to sacrifice because we going out of town. Like, we going out of town next weekend. Our son's 21st birthday is next week. So we won't be here on that day to be with him. And like I said, it's far few and in between, but we have missed things. But luckily we have an amazing village that we was able to send a grandparent.
Okay.
One of our parents have been able to show up. That we missed that recital. Can y'all go? Can y'all be there? So I would say it has been some times where there has been some sacrifice there.
Okay. Okay. So you guys have a ministry, the Couples Lounge. Can y'all talk about how you got into writing a book? I love this, Black Love. And what you do for people in relationships or marriages, and what your ministry is all about.
So the Couples Lounge started in our home probably about maybe about 3-4 years after we got married. I became to know real quick, oh no, we gonna need some support here. And so it was just us, and we labeled it the Couples Lounge, had a little poster board on our door, and we would invite like 4 or 5 couples over, and we would just have a round table conversation where I throw out a question and we all answer. So it's basically really for us to support one another. And we did that for a little bit, and then I was in Toastmasters, and I was like winning speeches, and somebody was like, maybe one time these speeches will become a book. And I heard it twice, and I'm like, by 2 different people, and I'm like, okay, God, what you talking about right here? So I didn't think it was for me to do by myself, so I went to my line sisters. That was a fail. It didn't work. We couldn't get on one accord, so I bought it to him. He was like, no. So I went back, and I couldn't get nothing going in my mind. And I'm like, why is nothing coming for me? Went back to him. I don't know how many times I had to come back, but his no eventually turned into a yes. And so my part, if I'd have done it with my line sisters, my part of the book was going to be, somebody should have told me, marriage, do we know what it's about? So once he said yes, I just took my chapter and made it into a book.
I love that. So do you have the book in handy? How can we promote the book, or purchase it?
So
I love the cover. Give us a little insight on how the viewers can purchase it.
Yes, if you go to www.lulu.com, you can get it there. I saw it on Amazon, but I don't know how they got the price for that. It was like $40 or $50. I was like, what? Wow. So I'm not for sure. And it's been out for a while. So you can go to lulu.com, but you can also get all our information if you go to thecoupleslounge.com. It's our new website. So y'all, I'm excited about that website. And you can find all the things about the podcast, because the podcast was actually, I won't say it was a spinoff from the book, but because we were doing the book tour, going to different podcasts, people was like, y'all need your own show. We was like, okay. And was like, what would we name it? So then we go back to the thing that we was doing in our house, the Couples Lounge. If we are here to support couples and marriages and love, that's where it all started. And so we got an amazing podcast on YouTube called the Couples Lounge. And so y'all follow us, check us out.
Yes, make sure y'all go on YouTube, like, share, follow. They are an amazing testimony of that Black love can work, and putting God first and having unity and building a friendship. And even when things get rocky, not giving up. That's what I love the most.
Absolutely.
So before we close out, there is something that I asked all of our guest speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, you guys can take your time on this, but what makes you uncommon?
You are very uncommon. What makes you uncommon?
What makes me or us?
I feel like
hold on. Who is she? What is she?
I think let's do individual.
We can do individual and then both. Yes, there we go.
You go first.
What makes me uncommon? Well, today, I'm genuine.
Okay.
Like if I speak to you and say, hey, good morning, how you doing? I generally mean good morning, how you doing? If I'm smiling in your face and holding a conversation, I actually like you. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, that's not common nowadays. I don't know what the hell.
Yes.
There's so much fakeness going on. That makes me uncomfortable. I am a genuine, lovable person. And when I speak, I genuinely mean it. And mean and want good things for you. And you don't have to worry, am I trying to finesse you out of money or am I trying to get over on you? That's not who I am. So I think that makes me uncommon today.
And I know I'm about to pull a wife move. You know how you ask the husband something and the wife speak? I'm about to pull
on it. Go ahead.
My husband is very uncommon in the fact that my husband has this amazing amount of power. The power, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, although I joke with him about it, but he has this power within him, a power of influence, a power of authority that is there, but when he access this power, y'all, the world might as well get ready. But he has this, it's a power that when he shows up, just his presence, you can feel it. You can feel it. So I feel like, and not a lot of men have that. So, okay, let me get on me. I feel like what makes me uncommon is a new spiritual practice that I have that I do every morning. If I miss, I feel kind of crazy, which I may have missed. Of course, I've missed sometimes, but my spiritual practice and my time with God is real, and it is, like he said, it's genuine, and it sometimes can last an extended amount of time. And so I would say that is what makes me uncommon. And also, I tend to see the good in everybody, even when they showing me something that's like that ain't good. I am still like, but that person is a child of God. They are in this earth realm, so it is some good in them. And so that makes me, so when I see certain things going on, it's just like, but. And so some people's like, no, they just not, but. And so I feel like that's what makes me uncommon. And us collectively,
yes,
our hairstyle alone right now shows you how uncommon we are. I got a shaved head like most men, and he got long hair like most women. So I feel like we, as a couple, we bring an energy. When it's with our friend group, it's like, oh Lord, here come Remon and Candace. So we bring a vibe when we come, and we are both just going to be us. And so we both have a big energy. So when you get to Tux, you get big energy. Yeah. So and I think that's something that make us, and we're gonna be us. And sometimes that may not, like, some people can go out in public and fake and funk like everything is all right. Them shinning and green. Let something not be all right here. It's not like, we fight hard to be like, yeah, what mama he was. Like, we're gonna be just authentically us. But so
I love it. I love it. I love healthy relationships. You know, it's well needed. And, you know, especially with you guys having a podcast, make sure you guys really tune in to get some gems in regards to the couples lounge, because it looks like they've probably been through a lot, and they're doing something to help others, you know, when it comes to relationships. So that's definitely dope. Let me check and see if we have any questions from our viewers before we close out.
okay.
Um Shout out to Tents of Lights for tuning in. They always showing support. Thank you, Tyrone. Nope, just comments. Everybody watching in. Uh, Thank you, Shanae, for tuning in. So yeah, Jamie Foster, you can catch the replay. You a little late, that's okay, but you can catch the replay. It will be up on our page once we get done. So first and foremost, thank you, Remon. Did I say it
Yes,
right? Because it's
yes,
so
you
frank.
did. Yes.
And Candace for coming on and, you know, sharing your insights about relationships, about being married, about being friends, about, you know, just everything that people may go through or may have to look into before they get married, and things that they got to take heed. One thing that I've noticed from you guys talking is the self-reflection. Definitely being uh, knowing yourself, being accountable, and being okay with growing, because
Yeah.
that's very important, being okay with growing. So I think that was very deep in regards to the tools and tips that you guys gave us. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, share, and post our page on Uncommon Women. We do have the self-love seminar that is going to be happening in November 23rd. If you want more information in regards to that, check out our website, which is uncommonwomen.net. If you are watching and you want to share your testimony, no matter what it is, the trials and tribulations of what you've been through, you can go ahead and email us at uncommonwomenpodcast@gmail.com, or you can visit our website and we'll get you on the show for this season. Thank you again for tuning in. And please remember to stay uncommon.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you've been shacking up with us for a while and haven't subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? Please like and subscribe to Uncommon Woman so you won't miss another episode. And remember, don't let anything or anyone affect your peace. Good vibes and stay uncommon.